Outside the box, your man Ation back at you. And as you know, we talk faith, race, sports, and politics. I just want to take a second to apologize because several people have hit me up about, hey, my man, like when you putting out some more content and there's a lot going on, when you going to start speaking on it. Well, here I am. We back. I'm not making no promises, but we're back. We're ready to talk. So let's talk turkey. So let me start by saying, there's nothing like a good old-fashioned trick of the enemy to try to trick men into thinking or sucking people into a vacuum, to think that, we should buy into some smoke screen, that there's a system out there that doesn't care anything about us as inner city people or folks from the urban community, or that the police is somehow, some way destroying the inner city and the community based on how they're handling the streets and why people are getting killed. You know, the first role model for any kid, man, is going to be the mother and the father in the home. And that's what's so vital and what's lacking right now in the community, in the inner cities, in many of the places that we see that are having turmoil around the world. Man, in his true creation role, and women in their creation role, make a beautiful infant child, and they teach that child the aspects of life and what's important. Teach them how to feel and express themselves and how to deal with adversity in life. And these are the things that come first from the home. It's very important that the father is there because he's the glue for the family. He makes the decisions. He does what he's called to do, and that's lead. Many around the globe are having these discussions about reaching the youth and reach the youth and reach the youth. And I think that we need to refer back to what the word says. We must teach the youth. And if we focus on teaching them in the beginning, then we won't have to focus on reaching them in the long run. So I'm going to ask you to take this short, quick journey with me into some of the important aspects of understanding what's going on in the mind of some of the people who are struggling with their self-identity and the things that are going on with them in their lives. So what we see here is as human beings, we have the left and the right brain at work with each other in our lives. And many times we have an imbalance in these areas because men and women may not take their rightful roles in the life of a child or another human being who they made, who they helped bring into existence. When you look at this analytically, you could see when you're looking at the study of the brain and how the brain, the development of the brain works for a child. The left brain deals with the analytical side, our rationale, being objective and logical, and thinking through things thoroughly, whereas the right brain is sort of the opposite, not 100%, but quite different as it deals with intuition, the holistic side of the brain. It deals with subjective thinking as opposed to objective, synthesizing or dealing with random, a little bit more of a random emotional thought process. Now, I don't know about you, but if you take a deep, close look at this, you look at the left brain and the right brain, and you can clearly see, does this look familiar to anyone? The right brain and the left brain clearly indicate and represent the man and the woman coming together and helping the child develop. The correct right brain and left brain develops the man into a man and his manhood, and also the woman in her womanhood. And these areas are sorely lacking if you look around and look around the country and some of the societies and the things we see going on around America and also abroad. And I'm just going to deal with the male side or the son side of this thing. How does a father as a role model, how does it affect the son when you no example of how to endure struggle and not quit on situations? It leaves no example of how to provide for your family. It leaves no example of how to view treating a woman or the woman's or the woman species, so to speak. It leaves no model of a mirror identity of what a man should endure, how he should operate, his integrity, how he operates and how he keeps his word and stand on course, and an example of how to honor God and other male figures. So what I mean by that is many times you look around, you don't see young men honoring and reverencing a man's presence or a man's word or a man's advising out there in the world now. We used to look at a man with with aged face and old and gray, and his hair, he's waxed with age, as they used to say. And we would honor him. We would listen to him and listen to the words he spoke. Nowadays, guys are just F off to another man, a grown man, an older man. He has no reverence for the wisdom or the wise. And most important, one of the things I see, two of the most important things I see that are not being taken seriously is an example of how to separate yourself from harmful people and environments and relationships, and build relationships with people that you know you shouldn't be around. But he has no idea that he shouldn't be around them because nobody led him that way. And lastly, no male fortitude. No fortitude, no ability to stand firm, no ability to stand strong. And his emotional instability causes him to operate and make decisions swiftly without thinking deeply before he does such an act. We got guys blowing each other away on the streets over something that was said or done, or maybe a female's involved, or maybe there was drugs involved, or maybe he made a decision to go sell drugs and a guy made him upset. These are things that are dangerous ground when a guy can't make a solid decision of what he should do. He's acting emotionally. And I don't have anything against women. I'm married to a very beautiful one. But I will tell you that when a man operates in his emotion, which is what many of these households these guys come from is operating under, is an emotional feeling or a vibe. That's how you come to the conclusion of one man who already has had children out of wedlock, and he shouldn't have, murdering another man, and he's going to jail for the rest of his life. There's a couple of children without a father there. Now the man that he murdered is going to the graveyard, and the couple of children that he has is also being raised without a father. So now you have two families who are going to grow up in this American culture without father figures in their lives. You ask, why can't a young man just follow simple instructions given to him by a police officer or a law enforcement officer, tell him to keep his hands out of his pocket? Or to take it a step further, I think we just have an authority issue altogether. It has nothing to do with cops. They can't follow a PE teacher, an instructional aide on the school campus who's working for the district, adults just giving them instruction on how to do things, or something as simple as pull your freaking pants up when you're walking down the street and quit showing your drawers. Why are we basing the significance of our kid's mentality or mindset? The kid is so focused on who he is on the streets. He's more concerned about what brand name he's wearing being his identity as opposed to his last name that his father gave him. The devil has attempted to disrupt every aspect of what a man and woman's role is supposed to be in a household in the life of the children. So until we buy into the solution that the male and female creations have to be in proper standing with God like they're supposed to be, we will continue to see the demise of our cities in this country, or any country for that matter, being destroyed by people who have absolutely no direction at all. Listen to me very carefully. The book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 21 clearly states when a strong man, fully armed, guards his own palace, his goods are at peace. Now, without the father's stamp of approval or validation in the home, and if he's not engaging, if he's not challenging, if he's not disciplining that child or showing him love, then he's just present, but we still have the fatherless issue going on. We need to take a stand for fathers. Fathers, take your rightful place. Let's stand firm on God's word. Let's rear our children and bring them to promise and purpose. Think about it.